All right, we are going to get started on gridding our larger sheet of paper so that we can start gluing down our pixelated pieces. You are going to need one large square of paper, a pencil, a ruler, an eraser, and one of these paper guides. This is what we're going to use to draw our grid onto our larger sheet of paper, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. To get started, what I want you to do is just start by writing your name and your room number. In case the paper gets lost, then flipping it over. So we're working on a completely white, clean sheet of paper. You are going to grab your pencil and your guide, and you are going to, as you can see, you're going to line up this first line with the edge of the paper. So I'm lining it up over there, and then what's going to happen is if you look over here, it's also going to line up with the last line on this edge of the paper. So you want to make sure that that's lined up, and then what I'm going to go in with my pencil, I'm going to go in and put a dot at every line. These lines are evenly spaced apart. So once I am done drawing in all of these dots, I'm going to be able to use those dots as a guide to draw my grid, and I will show you exactly how to do that. So it doesn't matter what side you start on because we're going to do all four sides. So once you have a dot at each line, double check before you pick up the guide, you are going to rotate the paper and do the next side. So you're lining it up with the edge of the paper, line up the first line, line up that last line with the edge of that paper. Looks good. I don't need to put a dot at that first line because that's just kind of marked by the edge of the paper. So then start with the second one and do a dot, 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 dot. And last one, I also don't need to do a dot because it's marked by the edge of the paper. Then rotate it again, line it up with the edge, do dot, 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 dot. Okay, so dots for each of those lines that are equally spaced apart, and then now I'm on to my last side of the square. Line it up with the edge of the paper, line it up with the edge of the paper, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, so now if I hold this up, you can see that there are dots on all four sides of my square. So now I'm ready to actually start drawing in my grid. You are going to need your ruler and your pencil in order to do that. What you are going to do, this can be a little bit tricky, so you may want to practice this a couple times, is I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be holding my pencil with my right hand, and I'm going to use my left hand to hold down the ruler. If you're left-handed, you may want to switch it. I'm going to start on this side because this side is easier for me, whatever is easiest for you. You are going to line up your ruler, can you guys see, with the top dot, and then line it up with the bottom first dot. So it's lined up to the top first dot and lined up to the bottom first dot. Then I am holding my ruler in place with my hand so it doesn't move, and I'm holding my paper also with my same left hand. I'm going to use my pencil and I'm just going to draw a straight line along the ruler. I'm pushing my pencil lightly against the ruler to get that nice and straight line. Then I'm going to move it down, line it up with the top second dot, line it up with the bottom second dot. Do it again, holding the ruler in place, line it up with the third top dot, line it up with the third bottom dot, hold the ruler in place, start at the top or the bottom, whatever is easiest for you, push lightly against the ruler, and you're just drawing these straight lines vertically down the paper. So I'm gonna keep lining it up. As you are going, you may notice that some of your lines are not looking so straight. So what you may wanna do is double check that your dots are lined up. Sometimes what can happen is when you're looking at all of these dots is you line it up with this one, but then it's lined up to the one next to it at the bottom. So you just want to make sure that we have perfectly vertical lines for our grid. We are using pencils, so if you do make a mistake, it is very easy to erase. We can draw lightly as we are going. Okay, line it up top, line it up bottom, draw a line, line it up top, line it up bottom, draw a line. Line it up top, line it up bottom, hold the ruler in place, draw a line it up top, line it up bottom, hold the ruler in place, draw a line. Okay, so now I have all of my vertical lines. I could then just go in and do it horizontally, line it up in the same way that we've been doing it. Line it up, line it up. It's easier for me to do it vertically, so I'm just gonna rotate my paper. Line it up top, line it up bottom, it's the first dot. There we go. Line it up top, line it up bottom. Okay, and you are just going to complete this until you have, I will show you, a nice grid like this. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares across the top, 13 squares across the bottom. As you can see, what I did on mine, it's a little hard to see, it gets cut off a tiny bit, is I wrote the numbers 1 through 12 down the side. This last box is going to be left blank. And then I wrote A through L along the bottom. That matches up with the numbers and the letters on the grid that we use to create our sample self-portrait. So we can use this on the side and say, okay, so at 1A, I need to put this color. At 2G, I need to put this color. So we can, it makes it just a little bit easier to plan out and makes our self-portrait a little bit more precise. After we have finished our grids, we can start gluing down our pieces.